Welcome to NSOMASA NMIMS podcast, where we bring you exciting conversations with the thought leaders from various fields. I am K.S. Madhavarao, Professor of Statistics, NSOMASA. Let us welcome our guest, Professor Dr. S. Chandrashekhar, who currently works as a Senior Professor and Director of Business Analytics at IFIM Business School Bangalore, who has been interviewed by Nidhi Atwale and Vibhuti Verma.
Hello and welcome to our podcast where we have conversations with our eminent guest speakers who are a part of the ICS conference arranged by NSOMASA NMIMS. Our goal is to delve into the lives of these remarkable minds, hoping to inspire the youth of today who want to follow in their footsteps. My name is Nidhi Atwale and I will be co-hosting this podcast episode with Vibhuti Verma.
Thank you for the introduction, Nidhi. So today we have a guest who is regarded as one of the top analytics professor in the country, none other than Professor S. Chandrashekhar, who is a senior professor and director of business analytics at IFIM Business School Bangalore since November 2013. He himself holds a bachelor degree in electrical engineering, a master's degree in computer science from IIT Kanpur, and a doctorate in quantitative and information systems from the University of Georgia, USA. He has won many awards for his contribution in the field of teaching and has been recognized as one of the top 10 Analytic Faculty by Analytics India magazine twice in a row for the years 2017 and 2018. Dr. Chandrashekhar is well connected with NMIMS University. He is an external member of BOS and BSc Artificial Intelligence program of NSOMASA. Thank you so much for coming in for this podcast, sir.
Thank you for the excellent introduction you have done. I don't know how much justice I will do for this. Let me try.
Sure, sir. So being students ourselves, we are curious about what student life was like for you back in the day. What, according to you, has changed in the education format between then and now, especially with the advancement in technology?
When I joined IIT Kanpur, I think I was the second batch or the third batch. We were only 30 or 35 students, and half the faculty were from US. Because IIT Kanpur was started with US collaboration. So nearly 30-35% only from Indians, but still again they are from US. At that time the relation was little bit different. We were only 30 students and in fact they adopted that American system of teaching. Still I remember, first day when I went, the director said, I will speak only one sentence, you listen carefully. If your mindset is used to this, stay in IIT. Otherwise, he said, there is a bus waiting, you leave. He said 1/3 is what the teacher teaches in the classroom. 1/3 we give you as assignment. Balance 1/3 I ask in the examination. So the core philosophy of IIT is we do not ask what we teach in the class. The explanation he gave is when you leave IIT, you will never get what is taught in the class. You will have to handle real life. So what we try to evaluate here is how good you are to apply what we taught in the class to a new situation. That is why we do not ask what is taught in the class. I think that is one difference which somehow makes IITs little bit stand apart from other institutes. That's because it is very difficult to put this model in other institutes. The other thing is the student number was less. It was more of personal type of teaching. If you do not ask question in a class, the teacher used to come to your room. You are not going to teacher. Teacher will come and sit with you and say, no, Chandrashekhar, you did not ask anything in the class. What happened to you? That means you have not followed. Till you ask the question and he clears the doubt, teacher will not leave your room. They will get up when you are asked at 8:30, 9:30 and then he simply asks, no, you are just sitting idle. You didn't ask any question. So that means you have not understood. So maybe you are a little bit hesitant to ask others what may think that your question may look silly or something you have not asked. So I have come here. So let us sit here. Even if it is 1 o'clock, he says, I am not going to leave your room. I think that is a little bit different education, and here these numbers have gone up considerably now. So I do not know to what extent we can still put that model because it is more of a one-to-one type of teaching there. Maybe some technology will help you with all that chat GPT coming and all. Let us see whether we can personalize the content with 3 lakh students or 4 lakh students, which human was doing when we were 30 or 35. That is one. And I still remember that one day, I think that CNR Rao, who got Bharat Ratna, he was teaching chemistry, he was my chemistry teacher. He said, all of you should sleep at 12 o'clock in the night. One student room, he went at 11:48 or something. I remember he knocked his door, the fellow was sleeping. He said, no, 11:48 is not 12 o'clock. He said, 2 minutes. Sir, only 2 minutes, sir. No, what 2 minutes? 2 minutes into 10 to the power of 6 microsecond, that is the time you wasted in your life. This poor fellow could not answer. So they were very strict in timings. No. Somehow they were monitoring and they make you to slog. I think that is one reason why these IIT students will run faster in life compared to your other institute, because somehow the discipline is brought, I think, in the earlier stage itself. So here what happens, all of you will try for, till 12th class you will run very fast. All that JEE, that marathon goes. Afterward, these slugs. I think that is the reason. I think we were more controlled and we were taken care of. I think that is one thing that has changed, and the scale is more high. We handle 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 students. It becomes very difficult to monitor at the faculty level this number. That's why I'm thinking eventually some technology, I think, should help.
True, sir. So, talking about technology and AI specifically, we sometimes rely on the decisions made by technology into which we don't have any insights, called black box technology, where we don't know how it came to a certain decision, and hence we might not trust that decision. So, how can explainable AI overcome this limitation?
So explainable AI, what it does is, it is very simple. These black boxes will build some complex models. It becomes very difficult for a human person or a managing director of the company. He doesn't know. He says, we don't know all this. Simply in one PPT to you explain. They will not give you some hours of time and ask you what is a neural network, etc. They will ask you, show me the result in one. So what we did was, this complex model, we built something called a surrogate model, which is a scaled down version of that complex model. That simple model we will try to replicate as much as possible. Of course, some error will be there. Always some error will be there. That will be able to explain better. That is all that explainable AI does. We build a complex model, somehow the complexity we are unable to explain. So what we did was, we come down, and then if I want to explain one instance or something, I will build some scaled down version of that complex model and try to explain. That is explainable AI. That is what your industry wants also. They are not worried about 100% accurate model, because no model on the earth is 100%. No, there is no such model called 100. Maybe that complex model may give you 90% accuracy. Even if this explainable model gives you 87, they are very happy because something it explains rather than the accuracy. That's what they are interested. So that is what has come, I think, for the past 3 to 4 years since this AI started getting accepted in the industry. These prototypes were built and all. The next question is, when do we take it to senior level? They want different type of explanation. They are not non-technical people. MD is not an AI specialist. MD has to run the company, not AI. So they are interested to what extent you can convince technical people, can convince the top management so that they will put it in the budget and they will use it as a competitive advantage to a competitor. That is what it is.
Okay, sir. So, NIME is an open source graphical user interface based software which has extensive capabilities to deploy AI applications. So, can this help the problem of explainability faced in business?
NIME is fully open source. NIME stands for Constant Intelligent Minor Engine. It came from German. It came from an academic institute in German. They all became entrepreneurs and floated a company. It has moved to Switzerland now. The headquarters of NIME in Switzerland. NIME is fully open source. It doesn't expire. Whereas we have competing products like Head2O.ai is there, Rapid Miner is there, Alteryx is there. They all compete with NIME. But unfortunately, what happens, most of those products, this explainable AI part is not free. You will have to purchase it. Only your basic statistics and minimum predictive analytics is what is free there. And there are a lot of data restrictions. You cannot analyze, I think, more than 50,000 records or 1 lakh records. NIME does not have it. So NIME is fully open source. Zero coding. We do not need coders here. At the back end, it runs a Python code. But somehow it screens you from writing the code. So it is completely GUI based type of tool, fully, there is no expiry for that. You can load it on your laptop, desktop or something. If you want support from NIME, it is charged. If you want them to support it on 24-hour basis, yes, some money the company has to generate, definitely they will charge. It starts from basic statistics, advanced text mining, video analytics, computer vision. That is only one tool available in the market which starts from your bar graph, P graph and goes up to vision, object tracking, all those things. And in fact, that FIFA football, NIME was used to track those players. That is one tool that was used there apart from others. They could not use one, some limitations was there, they used other one. Otherwise, it is used there. All those football has sensors there. They were trying to predict with what angle if he hits, what is the probability of getting a goal. So it has about 90,000 user communities there in NIME. It is a very strong community. NIME has a presence in India. We have a small India NIME group. I think about 70-80 companies have started using NIME. They will come to our country in a big way. Probably next year they are planning to come. And for academic institutes, you get some grant also. You can set up what is called NIME Center of Excellence. But what they want is a minimum number of courses you will have to teach NIME. Otherwise, you cannot say only some half an hour I use NIME, give me Center for Excellence. No, they will not give it. What they say is at least some 10 to 20% of your total curriculum, if you somewhere use NIME, then they will give you Center of Excellence, you will get some funding, you will get some projects also from outside the country, they will get that provision is there. So far, I have not heard center in our country. But I have told NIME, yes, that they are keen to get what they want is a critical mass. What they are telling is, sir, if there is only one institute showing interest, it is uneconomical to enter a country. They have some criteria to enter a country. So at least I think NIMS also, you have a big group here, statistics, engineering, management, etc. I think some students should take the initiative to get this NIME Center of Excellence at this place. It may be at university level, whereas all the departments students can go and work there on different projects. There is a certification of NIME. If you certify, it is a global certificate, then your employability will become much bigger. So not only in India, I think going outside the country will become simpler for you if you have NIME certification. I think that is one benefit of NIME. There are shortage of persons knowing NIME. Who knows, they may employ at Switzerland office itself. In fact, I was one of the advisors for NIME also for some time. That's why I know a little bit about that company, founders.
That's very interesting, sir. We'll definitely try and...
Definitely try, I think. All your education should be global nowadays. There is nothing called Indian education. With whom are you competing?
So, what are some of the most exciting new developments in explainable AI in real world problems? And what can we expect to see in the coming years, according to you?
Explainable AI, what happens is, yes, I think still some more trust has to be built. Because most of them have been tried on what we call a scaled down version of the data. If you take a bank, millions of customers are there. So before they deploy all these models, they will implement it only in headquarters or few branches. And if it works there, it goes there. So we will have to see that it works properly there. That is the first part. The other part is NIME should get integrated with other products also, like ERP products, where your data source becomes important. If that itself is not good, what is the point of explainable AI? It will say junk only eventually. What it explains, the counterfactual will happen. If it says he is a risky customer, eventually on the ground he is a good customer. In fact, you rejected him for giving the loan.
So moving ahead, the Nilkamal School of Mathematics, Applied Statistics and Analytics, NSOMASA, offers 3 undergraduate programs offered in the streams of Applied Statistics and Analytics, Data Science, and Artificial Intelligence. Did you have any opportunity to look into the program structure and reflect on their suitability in terms of international benchmarking, imparting graduate abilities, industry preparedness, and placement?
Out of the 3 programs, I have looked at only one, that is your AI and then data science program. To some extent, yes, what happens? No, there is some issue here. In international programs, your average age group is high. So normally at the postgraduate level, the age group is 30 years, 29, etc. Whereas here in our country, it is much lower. So that same content you cannot copy, because I think all of us know the society is little bit different there. Parents are not funding their higher education. In fact, after 12th class itself, they normally do not fund. They will say, go anywhere, work, and then fund your education. So what happens is the seriousness will become little bit more there. They don't do hand-holding like our Indian parents for long. Since they come with an experience, so what happens is their content and other things, what we teach here in few of those, what we call the foundation courses, we won't teach there. That is the first part. So the second part is when they come there, I think more or less they have decided where they want to go and what they want to do. So they are more or less they have decided before they join the institute. So that is why that curriculum is little bit different. There the practice is more than the theory part. Whereas here at least still you are learning, you have not come up to that stage. So here the theory has to be a little bit more. So there if it is 30% theory, 70% practical, here probably it may be 50-50 or 60-50, that is the part. Since you are younger, I think you will work more compared to them, because already they are in certain groove. So that is one part. Yes, whatever content I could make for this data science program, I have tried to see that somewhat it stands the international curriculum itself. And some domain knowledge also has to be there for this AI or data science students, because what happens is unless you have a domain knowledge, what is it you will develop? It becomes little unclear. So some domain courses have to be there. If you are going for insurance, something about the insurance industry you should know. It may not be formally taught in the class. Now you have all the website that our wonderful GPT has come. So put a prompt there. I think you can learn from that also. Even though if it is not taught in the class, you should learn it. Otherwise you will become somewhat. It becomes difficult for your career path. They will simply treat you as technical. Whereas when you go for next level, it is not technical. Technical becomes only 50%. That other 50 is how do you handle a group, what other extra knowledge you have, that is what it becomes. So the curriculum should not become, I think, only one dimension, what I call it. It should have other dimensions also. Maybe it can be whatever, it can be retail, it can be pharma sector, wherever analytics is used. Some 2-3 courses, it may be in the end semester or wherever it is, that should be there. Otherwise it becomes a big issue to place.
Yeah, right. So you have definitely given us something to think upon. I'm sure we have many students who might be aspiring to enter the field of AI. So, do you have any words of advice for them?
Advice, all of you work 25 hours in a day. We don't know how you make it 25 like that zip file which reduces. It does some type of a data compression and then reduces the size of 1 MB file to some 800 kp or 700 kp. Like that somehow you try to reduce my 25 hours to 22 or 23. Hard work. That is what I am advising. And earlier, during my time, when we used to join the companies, we used to look a horizon of 10 years, 9 years, 11 years. We were surviving. No. I think all of you have asked a question, next year am I employable? So if next year you are employable, you will stay in the system, otherwise they will throw you out. Some other competitor will come, some other student will come. They will say he is more knowledgeable than you. He has learnt much better in 1 year. Because 1 year is a big time period now. What we call the half-life knowledge has come down to 1 year. That means what it means is 50% of the knowledge what you taught will become outdated in 1 year. So all of you will come back to education institutes again. You will come more frequently than we did. Because the rate at which the obsolescence of knowledge is happening, I think that is tremendous, and there is something called what we call continuous learning. So some stage or the other, all of you will be back here. So, and another advice is, most of the places, they work 5 days in a week. And even they are thinking of 4 days in a week. Some Western countries are trying 4 days. So what you do is at least 4 to 5 hours in a day, you should study something what is happening advanced in your own field and in other fields. So the moment you stop learning, no, I think somehow you are in a danger zone now. What I advise you is continue to learn. You will all be back in education institute. Don't think that after 3 years or 6 years or 2 years of study, we will walk off and we will not see this place again. No, that's not going to happen. You are again back. That is my advice. Some at least few hours in a week you should study. Don't stop the studies. That is my advice. 25 hours. In our BTech itself, we were supposed to study 17 hours, 18 hours. Otherwise, that faculty will come and knock your door and say, why are you sleeping?
Right. Thank you so much for your valuable time and patience. With this, we come to the end of this podcast session. Thank you for tuning in. We also want to express our gratitude to the platform that ICS 2023 and NMIMS gave us. So thank you, sir, for coming here.
Thank you also very much. Some little bit of advice. After having taught 9,000 students by now, I think I somehow compressed in your 45 minutes. Like I did the compression, you did the compression now.
Sure, sir.